Welcome, guys, to another trading review. This week, I only opened 4 trades. All right, no trades on a Tuesday and no trades on Friday. So let's check them out. It started with a loss on Monday. It was a gold trade. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so the 4-hour was bullish. Okay, so we were making the bottom wick of the current 4-hour. Okay. And obviously, we were anticipating price to go up on the 4-hour. So maybe ending up looking something like this, all right? Tapping these areas, filling the wick to the left. So that was the anticipation. So moving on to the 1-hour. Oh, I remember this one. Okay, so the 1-hour it was a little bit tricky because we closed below. So we had a breakout on the 1-hour, all right? But as you can see, we had all of these rejection wicks to the left, and this one did the same thing. This one went down, rejected the same area, and came back up, although it closed below the support, giving us a breakout to the downside. At the time, I thought, you know what, it rejected, so maybe this 1-hour is ready to go up and fill the sad range, right, to the left. Yeah, so let's move on to the 30. Okay, so this setup was the 30-minute fake out. Okay, price closed below this support, right? And then the next one closed back above. Okay, normally I wait for the break of the previous lows like this, right? To give a better confirmation. But like I said, this is already a rejection wick. Right? When I wait for the break of the lows is when the candle looks like this. All right, where there's no rejection wick to the downside. That point, yeah, I'm going to wait for this break of the lows and the fake out right here and enter on the break of these highs. All right, but since the candle, the bearish candle, already had the rejection wick right here, I didn't see the need for it to break the previous low again, right? So a great low is enough for me to take this fake out. So fake out here, same entry, right? So yeah, the only thing I'm going to say is this top wick of the candle that broke above is kind of big. So for me, it made no sense to enter on the break of these highs because it's too far away, right? I want to take advantage of the wick fill. Okay, so I waited for the high. The candle made the low. I think it was up until these areas, and then re-broke its own high, activated me, and went straight back down. Okay, looking at the 15, we also had the back runner right here and the celery. So it looked great on the 15 too. Candle closed above. We got a small back runner right here. Celery candle, break of the highs. We on. So good trade. I remember this one, I actually didn't wait for a steeper bottom wick on this one, on this candle right here. Again, it was the second half of the 30 and it already had the bottom wick, right? And also gave the back runner. So that's enough for me. It's a good trade, okay? Good trade. Not the best 1-hour though, but everything else was looking amazing. So that's it. Moving on to the second trade, it was a win on a Tuesday on gold 2. All right, so the 4-hour was bearish, but we were at support right here, right? So target tap on the 4-hour. 1-hour was coming back up. So when I got in was on this 1-hour, okay? So it kind of filled the wick to the left, almost all of it, I would say. Tapped into this target right here. As you can see, tapped one more time and started to reject. The 30-minute was breaking the previous high. So, inverted celery, right? So inverted celery on the 30-minute. This was a 9:30 Eastern trade. So supposedly a lot of volume, right? It was not the case, but supposedly there's a lot of volume in that 30-minute candle. So that's what I was anticipating. So previous candle broke the previous highs. I was anticipating this move right here. The 4-hour had no top wick either. So yeah, that was the idea. Price had price had other ideas too, and it broke the previous highs and started to consolidate. And this yellow line is I marked here because this wasn't the partials at the time. This is just where I closed my position because honestly, I had to go. Between us, I had to go. So it took like 2 hours and something, and I had to go. Bro. I just closed the trade right there. I don't care. That's why it's a small win, but it made sense. It should be a lot of volume that time. It wasn't. And this trade idea, the setup was a 30-minute inverted celery on the break of these highs right here. Okay, and it started to consolidate, showing that there was no volume after all. So, I got out. Okay, let's say it was because of the no volume and not because I had to go. All right, guys. Okay, so the third trade, it was on NQ. All right, loving NQ, man. The 4-hour was bearish. We made the high. All right, not the best high, but it tapped into a strong area and it started to break its own low. So even if it wants to go up, at least I need somewhat of a bottom wick too, right? Trying to fill the wick to the left. And after that, if it wants to go up, it wants to go up. Okay, so that was the idea. On the 1 hour, it closed bullish, the previous one, right? It formed a support right here. And but as you can see, it closed below this support, right? So it made a high, tap into these areas, and then started to break its own low. Okay, and look at this. My partials were at the 1 hour support, so I was anticipating price to retest that support on a lower time frame. Okay, and then decide if he wants to keep going down or just come back up. And as you can see, it went back up, right? But at that point, I had already secured some money. And I can't stress this enough, guys, like base hits change my trading career. Okay, so taking base hits, I don't need a big amount. I need small amounts consistently. All right, keep that in mind. On the 30-minute, we had an inverted celery. So we had this bullish closure, this support from the 1 hour support. It went up. Now, candle broke the previous high, stepped into these areas and rejected, right? And closed back below this support right here. The next one wicked up and broke the previous lows, okay? And on the 15, we had an onion, okay? So we can call it onion fake out if we mark this area right here. It closed above, came back down to close below, all right? Next, wicked up, perfect top wick on the 15 and on the 30, broke the previous lows. As you can see, my partials were right here. And if he wanted to continue going down, that was my full TP, was the wicks on the 1 hour for the wick fills. All right, it didn't. Good trade. 15-minute onion, 30-minute inverted celery. On to the next. Okay, so the last trade was on Thursday. It was a London session trade. All right, we took this on the live stream. Amazing trade. So the 4 hour again was bearish, but there's no top wick, as you can see. And also we tapped this target. All right, so we tapped target on the 4 hour. Price was too bullish. This one had no top wick, and this one, not the best bearish closure, to be honest. So I was anticipating the 4 hour to keep going up and fill the wicks to the left. Okay, so the move there was to anticipate the 4 hour top wick. The 1 hour closed strong bearish, but as you can see, we have this support right here, which it tapped, right? And this one as well. Okay, so now this one made a lower wick and started to break its own highs. Now let's look at the 30, because that was the entry confirmation along with the 15. Look at the 30. So the 30, this one, at some point, it was looking something like this, right? And it rejected and rejected and came back up to close above these areas. Okay, so now it respected the support and it closed inverted celery. So this trade was an inverted celery setup, all right, where we waited for the bottom wick, tapped into that support and broke the previous highs. Okay, and if you look at the 15, we have kind of a double inverted celery, right? I remember this one. We decided not to take this break of highs right here because it was only 15 minutes left for the London Open candle. And if there's 15 minutes left, like we might as well just wait for a better confirmation, right? And that was on the 30. We had the same exact setup on the 15, but on the 30, which is a stronger confirmation. So yeah, we entered here on the break of these highs. And yeah, this was the partials. We secured something, moved the stops to break even, and there you go. It came back down, stopped us out at break even. I don't really remember if it went up or down after. I think down though. I think down. So good trade. Was based on the volume. All right, inverted celery. There's no support forming here, right? We don't have any support, so I have to trust the volume on London Open candle. This was London Open. That after breaking the previous highs, it will not wait for me to form the support, right? So we got to take advantage of volume times. And now remember this one, it actually felt great because lately the market's volume has been a little weird, but this one kind of felt like, you know, back in the days. So I loved it. Good trade. That's it, guys. It was an amazing week, a lot of patience, okay? And if you don't follow me already, go check my socials, subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I have a mission, I have a goal, and that is helping as many people as I can, becoming the best versions of themselves, and bring that version into the charts. All right, guys, there's money for everyone in here, okay, guys? So thank you for watching. And if you are not part of the community, check the link below and join our community, SMP Academy. All right, I'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching once again, and have an amazing weekend. Bye.